honor of the late great Biz Markie. One of his classics I never hear.
Now this may sound disgusting and like very gross, but it's short I have it tripping. See, yo, listen close. It's not right at the sun, or sweet like sugar, but it's rather on the bug tip and it's called picking burger. Now when I play, it might not be close to you, but it's still something we all have to do. So go up your nose with a finger or two and pull out one all crusty crew. Yo, don't try to front like it's so gloomy and gray, cause we all pick our boogers sometime every day. Whether out in the open or on the sneak tip with a finger, tissue, or even a cute tip. Take it from the biz Markie, because I'm joking. And also, remember this slogan. Hey mom, what's for dinner? How about without you? Let me tell you what happened on the train. I was cruising one day with my partner Ken, headed up to the rooftop riding the D train. When the man sitting next to me was so profane, to stick his finger up his nose, then to do a train. I was just about, but homeboy just pulled out a big green. Nah, I ain't gonna say it, but a way to good town if you try to wait. We sat there for a while with it in his hand, so I tried to play cool like an older man. So I laid my head back to catch a quick nap. All of a sudden, he plucked the dead in my lap. Now can I sat there laughing like it was all a joke? But a brother like Biz Markie head almost choked. So I dug in my nose, the most out of about 5, and plucked every last one of them dead in his eye. The man jumped up and said, "What's wrong with you?" And right off his face and said, "I can't mess with you. Like if I did something that was so full of shame. But yo, you got to know the name of the game."
Real HD Show, Season 3, debut. Let's go. Yeah, reaching out to y'all from all over the land, to fam who all understand. You rocking with us, man. It's 8 p.m. Wild Out Wednesday. You are rocking with Prime Time with a Purpose. Welcome to the Real HD Show. I'm your host. Say what's up to the people, sincere.
Peace, peace to my kings, my queens, my princes, and my princesses. It is a pleasure to be back.
Absolutely, man, because this is Season 3, and we got mad stuff in store for you. You know what I mean? We're not going to waste any time. We are remixing the Biz in the Building, but all those out there who feel a need to bless the community and leave the community better than what you inherited it, get off your ass and get out there and do something with the people, for the people, by the people. We gonna have the Biz in the Building segment back and better than ever. Don't you worry. But right now, we're gonna get ready to jump into what we do. But first, I gotta say what's up to my day one. What's going on, Sin? How you be, bro?
I am maintaining, fam. Like I said before, it is great to be back and on the air.
Back and better than ever.
No doubt. New and improved.
Yes, sir.
3.0.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you know what I mean? I see Sin got the ambiance popping in the background. And then, of course, his avid collection of priceless, comic book, movie, and TV characters, one of a kind joints. You know what I mean? I think we're gonna do a whole segment on Sin's priceless characters that he collects. Avid collector, you know, he's real dope with it. And you know, that's what it is, man. You know, you got to do things that mature over time. You got to get things that are priceless, things that go up. And even if it doesn't have, you know, value in this American economy, it means something. It means something to us. So that's what's really what's up. Any new additions to the collection, bro?
Well, yeah, actually, if you look in the back, I had to do some custom work. I used some imagination and some other characters in order to complete the Cobra that you see in back. I have my version of Storm Shadow.
Nice. Nice.
All right. You remember how G.I. Joe had the battle android troopers?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, this is my version of the battle android trooper.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Give thanks.
Yeah, man. So all of this stuff is custom, and I'm sure if you want Sin to make you a custom caricature of any old school figure, you know what I mean? Me and Sin had this really crazy conversation way back when we saw that there was a Harriet Tubman figure. We saw that there was a Muhammad Ali figure. We saw that there was a Frederick Douglass figure. There's so many figures out there. If you want a custom figure, holla at the Real HD. We'll get your man Sincere for a price, of course. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be working for free, so we can't expect Sin to do that either. But for a price, Sin will make you and yours a customized action figure. Maybe you can gift it for the holidays or birthday to somebody special that's nostalgic with that 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000 action figure collections. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's just what it is, man. So welcome to Power to the People News Talk. You know what I mean? We used to be Hardcore Mondays. We're in a Wild Out Wednesday. And whenever we do our articles and our crazy headlines, we're doing Power to the People News Talk. Why? Because that's what we wish for the people. That's what we want our information to do and to be empowering for the people, you and yours. Tell them, Sam, what you think?
Most def. You know, in all of our segments, it's to educate. It's also to entertain. It's there to put that knowledge out there that is not readily available. You know, so we're out there to help our community, give back to our community, and help build as individuals so that we can flourish in our communities. You see how that goes?
Yes, yes, sir. Always. So, you know what I mean? Without further ado, you know what I mean? So we don't waste your time. We know your time is valuable. Let's get into it. Boom.
Get into it.
The good, the bad, and ugly headlines. Hey man, y'all like the new digs, man? Y'all like the new format? You know what I mean? The video is better, the audio is crisper. You know what I mean? We got better lower thirds. You know what I'm saying? Rock with us, the Real HD Show, man. Like, share, subscribe. Join us on all platforms. Drop us a message in the chat. We'll read it off. Or, you know what I mean? You could jump right in here to the link. You can hit that. You can hit the link, but you can copy the link and then join us in the Real HD Show. Or you can go to my Facebook page, AJ James, and you can hit the link there. And once you're in the queue, I'll bring you in. And you could talk about whatever we brought up over the duration of the broadcast. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have the good, the bad, the ugly headlines. We'll have the Lit City report. We'll have the AAT report. And we will have Sin has a feature he wants to do after a little bit after 9 o'clock. And we're going to rock and roll that way. So, you know, let's get started, Sin, man, because, you know, there was way too much in the headlines, man. Me and Sin had to have a pre-production meeting, man, and like narrow down just how much we was going to include in this show. And we thought everything was necessary because it probably was. Remember that, man? So, you know, how hard was that, bro? How hard was that?
Oh, man, listen, it's really hard to kind of like cut through when everything that we were putting on was 100. You feel? So it's like, you know, it felt like we were kind of depriving. As I say, you know, we just need that extra hour. We need to start running it to 3 hours. But then, you know, with the way that the world turns, and all of the information that's out there, we're gonna be pushing for 4, 5, and then a 24-hour show, bro. So
it's sincere, right, man? Do we need 3 hours with the Real HD, man? Do we need to build for 3 hours? I'm saying, help us out with some donations. Cash App the Real HD show. If you want the Real HD show to go 3 hours, we got no problem with that. But we need that incentive. We need that love. We need to know y'all out there listening. We need to know that y'all out there enjoying what we do and getting something out of what we do. Like, share, subscribe, drop a donation, even if you're anonymous, and even if you ain't anonymous. Drop a donation either way. You could drop a donation, jump in the link, and come on. And if you drop the link, you can come on face to face and talk about why and just how much you appreciate the show and why you dropped the link, amongst other things. Why? Because it's your voice, your victory, right here on the Real HD show. And without further ado, we're gonna jump into what? The good, the bad,
the bad, and the ugly
headlines that are concerning our people that we heal with freedom music. Oh, let me not even forget, man. Yo, we had to play the man, the Dookie Rope Chain, the legend, Biz Markie, Picking Boogers. How about it? When is the last time anybody heard Picking Boogers anywhere?
No doubt.
He's Just a Friend. That's a dope song. Something for the Radio, dope song. The Vapors, really dope song. But if you want to have fun with hip hop, put on some Picking Boogers, man. That beat just gets you bumping, moving. You know what I'm saying? You be into it instantly. You know what I mean? And then we also played It's Party Time, Trey Lee, Lost Boys. That's a banger. You know what I mean? That gets your shoulders moving. That get the energy flowing. That put the battery in the back. And while we got a battery in our back, let's jump into our first Good, the Bad, the Ugly headline. Chaotic joint, man. We had to do it. I hate stories like this because I have a 23-year-old, I have a 20-year-old, and a 16-year-old. And I would hate that this would have to befall anybody's family for any goddamn reason. But we got to cover it. We got to have integrity about what we do. Without further ado, we're going to play a short clip, and then we're going to get into the headline concerning this actual Good, the Bad, the Ugly headline, Real HD show. Check it out.
What is human trafficking? The action or practice of illegally transporting people from one country or area to another, typically for the purposes of forced labor or commercial sexual exploitation. Human Trafficking House to .org/whatishumantrafficking/. Currently, over 118,353 people need an organ transplant, and about 22 people per day die while waiting for an organ transplant. In this situation, the phrase desperate times call for desperate measures takes on an extremely dark persona and ventures into the realm of the illegal harvesting of organs. The World Health Organization reports that over 7,000 kidneys alone are harvested illegally annually. But with closer inspection at the statistics surrounding illegally harvested organs comes an even more sinister discovery. Multiple black people have been found dead with missing organs.
Y'all didn't hear what he just said, man. The man said multiple melanated black folk in this country have been found with missing organs. I'll let it continue.
14-year-old Jason Smith was found dead in a lake on June 6, 2011, and his death was ruled a drowning accident by the coroner's reports in Eros, Louisiana, despite all of his vital organs missing from his body. Learn the indicators of human trafficking so you can help identify potential trafficking victim. Human trafficking awareness training is available for individuals, businesses, first responders, law enforcement, educators, and federal employees, among others.
Yeah, man. So if you know anything about human trafficking or organ illegal organ harvesting, please connect that information on your screen, and we can report them to the authorities, and we can report them to the hood authorities, and we can go handle some things for sure.
No doubt. Hood authorities get it done.
Yes, sir. So we're back. Real HD show. That was a real quick clip of what they talked about. The World Health Organization said. I always mix it up. 770. Who knows when the actual numbers come out, what it will actually be? But it's in the thousands. Black people are being, snatched up off the street. Little babies, young men, young women, harvesting their organs, killing them. And right there is young brother Johnson, Kendrick, right? Is that his first name? Keyshawn or Kendrick, one of the two.
Kendrick
Kendrick
Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, brother Johnson was found with his organs harvested, stuffed with hay, rolled up in a gym mat. Bless the parents, man. Bless that family. Oh my gosh. I'd have to get on my Samuel Jackson, A View to a Kill, and just kind of get my shotgun, cock it twice, and let it all hang out. I'm just being a buck with you. I'd have to get some answers. But that's not the only one that was suffering with this travesty. Give it a second. And we got brother Jelani Day, a grad student out of Illinois. And he was found with his body missing organs, stuffed with hay. Eyeball sockets was missing. Parts of his brain stem, cerebral cortex was missing. Kidneys, heart, genitalia was cut off. Oh my gosh, man. We got to bring light to this. And if you care about this and you care about our people, put something in the chat, man. Let us know how you feel about all these missing brothers and sisters. And last but not least, let me show this, because Sin was dope enough to hit me with this article today. And let me enlarge it so everybody can see it. This sister's organs, not organs, but she was missing for some time, and she was found in an unused police van. And 10,000 people liked the post on Instagram. Shout out to Media Blackout USA for putting the story out there. It's really, really important that we spread this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and make people cognizant and aware of what's popping off in our cities with our babies and our children. You know what I mean? We need to protect each other, bro. Like, should nobody be rolling without company right now, man? And I'm not just gonna blame it on Trump. New York, America has an illness that never was checked, and it exacerbated into a dangerous cancer. What we're dealing with right now, man. What do you think about all these articles, bro? Kendrick Johnson, Jelani Day, and now this sister here, Christina Nance. Blessings to them. What's your thoughts on it, bro?
Well, my hearts go out to the families first and foremost,
Sure.
because it's there's no reason that anybody should have to suffer tragedies like these. And number two, I guess you'll say that the second thing is we need more community. We need more, I guess you would say, old school ethics, because there was a time in which our communities, we reached out, we knew each other, we talked, we spoke, we watched out for each other, we looked out for each other. You know what I mean? We were living, thriving communities that thrived because we were together. Now there's too much individualism, and and with that individualism, you have those predators that are trying to pick us off, and it's happening far, far too much. It shouldn't happen at all, but it's happening far too much. So we need to get back into our community oriented mind states, our cultural oriented mind states. Stop trying to, indulge in these, to keep it honest, devilish ways. So,
We're gonna get to that later. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
We as a people, we as a culture, we have to stay godly, and stop trying to be like the adversary. So my condolences out to the family, and in order to prevent these kind of things from happening, I'm encouraging communities, I'm encouraging people to look out for each other. That used to be a common sense thing, used to be a common courtesy thing, but we all know that common sense and common courtesy have been lost to us as of recent.
Yeah,
So,
man.
RIP to common courtesy and common decency.
There's a premium on looking out for each other right now, man, and I don't understand it. We need each other more now than ever with all of the evictions and all of the lost jobs and all of that. So, stop fronting, stop acting like we're not indirectly and proportionally connected. We are. Act like it. I just put up on the screen an article, and it says how body brokers make money harvesting organs from Black people. And the reason why I wanted to put this on is there's some really key elements, and this is from it's a Time magazine article. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of the things they were talking about. Now, you just heard in the video that the World Health Organization says there's over 200,000 people waiting in the wings for organ donation. And then, of course, the ones that are waiting for organ donation probably is not the Medicare crowd because it's very expensive, super expensive. How expensive? Check it out. So to this one here, it says that the Arizona company called the Biological Resource Center used to sell products like a whole body with no shutters on it, and the company's price sheet consisted of body parts such as the torso went for $2,400, spines went for $950, a leg went for $1,100, and probably that's expensive because of the marrow, right, Sin?
Yep.
Yeah, so that you get the most marrow out of one of the bigger muscles and muscle areas in the body. The whole foot is $450, and a knee is $375. How barbaric that they would put prices on Black people's bodies like this. But this also goes back to the 1890s when they used to have night doctors in the South. And then they used to raid areas. And if you were caught out at night by yourself for whatever reason, you get snatched up and you get used for medical research. But we're going to go deeper on that later on in the show. I just wanted to finish this. So this was a real company, bro. Biological Resource Center in Arizona. It's not around anymore. And this was an article that went back to 2017. But these were some of the statistics of that particular company and what they offered the medical industry. Time magazine and other companies blew it up. It said per 2017 Reuters expose of the BRC company that we just talked about, body trade industry, FBI agent went undercover at the Phoenix facility. He said when he went in there, he saw a pile of jumbled body parts, sawed off heads, legs, arms, fingers, genitalia, piled up like, the Walking Dead. No apparent identification for what bodies they came from or where they belonged to. Crazy, bro. And this was an FBI agent that reported this to Reuters in 2017. And then lastly, and this was really interesting, I thought, and then I'm gonna open it up for anybody that wants to click on the link and join us and talk about this, or me and Sin can talk about it for another moment too, and then we'll jump into another headline. At the moment, there's a lawsuit working its way around New York, and it highlights what happened when desperate people put together designs on other people's organs and how brain death is used to help meet that further demand. So it says he filed a lawsuit because he was working at the New York Organ Donor Network. This cat here, Patrick McCann, right? And he was working at this place, the New York Organ Donor Network. He claimed that he was wrongfully fired for being a whistleblower. Here we go. Facebook was just in trouble for, having their joint blown up. And says in the suit, McMahon alleges that the New York Organ Donor Network pressured hospital staff to rush to declare patients brain dead so their organs could be harvested. Talk to me, bro. What you think about this, man?
Bro, that is sheer insanity. And the fact that the government, you feel, and our medical industries are doing this, on the regular. This isn't back in 1840. This isn't back in, in all of these crazy times. This is the present. This is 2021. You feel that these things are happening. And then, you have to give account for, look how many people have been missing in the past few years. You feel?
Right.
So, it is obvious that they could have been brought to these hospitals, had these procedures done, had their organs removed and put into the markets and stuff like that. Because, one, it takes skill. It takes medical skill to remove these organs. You can't just be a butcher. So these are people that have the experience,
right,
and the know-how to do these things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And to preserve these things, because once you harvest these organs, they have to be preserved. They have to be kept cool. They have to be, so it's not a ragtag, bunch of people that's just out for money that's doing this. This is something that's been orchestrated on some of the highest levels. You feel? And it's time that part is exposed, because everybody's sitting there trusting the government, thinking that everything that they do is going to be in our best interest. But that's not the question that they need to be asking. The real question is, what have they actually done that was in our best interest? You'll find that the answer for that one is far more fleeting.
Yeah, brother, I hear you, man. And it's way past bedtime for us to also collectivize and put our own muscle together in our own communities, and walk with each other, man. Go with each other to the store. Take somebody with you. Don't let your lady or your young kid, venture out alone if you can help it. We all have jobs. We all have things we have to do. We all have things that mandate our attention, and we have to get out there in the public and take care of these things. But, Sin, to piggyback off what you said, just to close, I remember because my uncle passed and my wife's aunt passed early on in the COVID cycle. And my uncle passed directly from COVID because he went to the hospital. He got diagnosed with it, came home. They thought he was cool. He went to work, and then he passed in his sleep. And they said it was COVID related. And it was interesting how fast they were claiming COVID was the cause of death of everybody who came in and out of the hospital. It was very interesting. You know what I mean? Because I had another elder of ours passed in October of last year, and COVID wasn't the cause of her death. But if she didn't have a family to stand up for her, they might have said it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they might have rushed that whole process through. They might have, put some things in the works that made that another COVID statistic. So, and I'm not saying that COVID people didn't die from COVID. I'm just saying that it's rather curious how super bodies were stacking up, and we're in this phase now where young brothers and sisters are getting snatched off the street, and their organs are getting harvested. You know what I mean? And I don't know if any of the listeners remember we did a story last season with Ave and Sin, and we talked about how they want to harvest melanin, and there's no better source than getting melanin than Black people right here in the country. Matter of fact, Sin, I was reading an article, and they were saying that there's a certain type of mushroom that's really, really dense with melanin. So scientists scrape the melanin from the mushroom. Maybe you know the name of the mushroom because that's your field. They scraped the melanin from the mushroom, did some sort of way where they could weave it together, and they used it as a. It was so powerful that they used it as a lead filter. I'm gonna say that again. They scraped melanin off a mushroom, laced it together. Man, I wish I had. I'm usually straight with my articles and my resources and my little references, but I don't have this one right offhand. But they put the melanin in an interlocking mesh, and they were filtering lead through it.
Mm-hmm.
It filtered lead. Are you kidding, bro? And then you wondering why people was coming up missing. Oh, and remember they did the joint about. Remember we read the article about how they're using melanin to coat nuclear cells inside of
React.
yeah, inside of weapons, right? For the army and the navy, right?
Yep.
Man, y'all better get on it. Y'all better get hit, and y'all better protect each other. So all I gotta say, we ain't got no time to be fooling around. We ain't got no time to be walking the street without that ratchet or without that people power. We ain't got no excuse at all, man. Stop. Get out your little fifis. You know what I'm saying? Stop being selfish and crew up. You know, get your people together. Look out for your people, man. Because folks is coming for you, man. You know what I mean? How we know that whole Ahmaud Arbery joint wasn't a whole way to snatch him up off the street and harvest his organs. Healthy black man, jogging every day. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Middle of Georgia, two dudes in a pickup truck pull up, talking about, yo, whoop-de-whoop. Right?
Yeah. How do we know that the girl that was found in the police van was just that one girl? She could have been one amongst dozens, and she just got left behind.
Right, man. Hey, we doing this great story. We had to represent. We had to hold it down for Kendrick Johnson. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, and we had to hold it down for Jelani Day. And there's some rumors that he's related to Wilder, the boxer. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. That y'all can look it up. Y'all can Google that. And we also holding it down for Christina Nance. You know what I mean? Salute to you guys. Your life means something. That's why we had to do it right here on the Real HD Show. And we're gonna come back with the AAT report. And before we do that, that was a heater, man, right now, and we're gonna go to a joint. You know what we have to do to prevent falling to that nonsense where they snatching us off the street, man. Right here, Kanye, instrumental, Black Skin. Check it out. Yeah, man, we back. Real HD Show, man. Check us out, man. Shout out to 100.9 FM WXIR. That's the root. That's the foundation. That's the radio station. Get on that joint, man. Make sure you see what we're doing and see our get down as we're on 100.9 FM. You can catch the replays there from the previous seasons, and you can get what you need out of some of the older episodes that will really have some dynamic dialogue, pardon the audio, pardon the video, and some dynamic information. If you sit through it long enough, you'll get some nuggets and a lot of jewels. We got a lot of great guests, music, art, poetry, etc. Check those out, man. 100.9 FM WXIR. Sinner, you back, bro?
Yes, sir. I am here and ready.
All right. So, without further ado, we are going to jump into the AAT report, Healthy, Wealthier, and Wiser. We will have an intro for it next show, but I know Sin is chomping at the bit, so I'm just going to let him do what he does so best. AAT report, Healthy, Wealthier, and Wiser, right here on the Real HD Show. Check it out.
Yes. Welcome, my kings, my queens, my princes, and my princesses. Pardon the tongue tie. All right. Tonight's AAT report plant product is a winner. This is something that I would encourage everyone who can hear my voice to go out and engage and partake and put this thing into your daily regiment, right? Tonight's AAT plant product is a qualified superfood. All right, it has anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory properties, and this is the good one, it can prevent DNA mutation. Sorry, Krakoa.
Oh, wow.
Tonight's super plant product is a polyphenolic compound with diferrylmethane, known for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidative properties. It also has anti-lymphedemic agents that have been known to modulate disease via the epigenetic regulation, having a promising result in neurocognitive disorders, inflammation, obesity, cancers, and epigenetic changes involved in changes of the DNA or the methylation of the histamine modifications or any altered microRNA expressions. They are interconnected and play a key role in the tumor's progression and failure. I'm sorry. I have a spill on my notes and it kind of got a little blurred. All right.
Take your time. We got you.
Plays a key role in the tumor progression and is why the failure of conventional chemotherapy occurs. Tonight's plant product shows evidence that its main compound, right, can cross the blood-brain barrier and may help to protect against Alzheimer's, right? And it does this by reducing inflammation and reducing the buildup of protein plaques that are found in the brains of the characteristic Alzheimer's sufferers. Do you recognize these attributes yet? This plant is also effective as an antidepressant in treating depression by boosting levels of brain-derived neurotropic factors. While in depression, these same associated factors are at lower levels. Right. For tonight's hint, tonight's plant is a perennial. It has right? Its rhizomes are used in cooking. Right? It's herbaceous, and the plant is native to India and Southeast Asia.
India and Southeast Asia. Wow. Okay.
I'll give another hint. This plant is also related to ginger.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Do we have any guesses for what tonight's plant product is?
related to ginger. That got me thinking. Hmm. I'm trying to remember how you pronounce this. Ro, rhodiola,
Rhodiola?
rhodiola. Yeah, rhodiola. There you go, bro. Rhodiola. What do you think?
Uh, it's a good guess, but nope, I'm sorry. That is not it.
Okay, okay. Um,
Ready for the reveal?
sure. Why not? Hold on. Let me look in the chat. Let me see if somebody got it in the chat. Everybody's guessing in the chat. All right. Ready for the reveal? You ready for your drum roll, brother man?
Yes, sir.
All right. Give me one sec. And
Tonight's plant product, this superfood responsible for eliminating mutants and protecting your inflammation, is. Can you see it?
oh, you have it hot. All right. Give me one sec. Let me open that up. Nope, that's not what we need. We need that. Yeah. Turmeric. Hey. Now you know what? I didn't know turmeric was in the family of ginger.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. That's hot. Yeah. Nice, nice. You know what's interesting, man? My daughter has like a little baking thumb now. She's really getting into baking. And there was a cup baking, not bacon with all in. baking cakes and cookies and pies.
No doubt.
We're vegetarian. She does it all, natural, all natural ingredients. And a lot of the all natural recipes that she follows calls for a lot of turmeric. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome, bro. That's hot. That's hot. Yeah, man. So, you know what I always ask? How can you use it? How can you apply it? How can it better someone's life in a social way?
Well, how you can use it is an easy one. But the best way is to use it in combination with another product, which is black pepper.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Black pepper and fat-based products help to increase the bioavailability of the curcumin, which is the effective chemical within the turmeric.
Okay. Excellent.
I think it increases it by up to like 100-fold or 1,000-fold or something like that. But it's crazy. Its bioavailability, is increased, and its effects tremendously increase with the added black pepper or a fatty product.
Yeah, because it's a polymer. So anything that adds to it
Needs
is
to bind. Yes, sir.
It's going to radically join and give you more benefits. And let me ask you this, because I know ginger is good for rheumatoid arthritis. So is turmeric good? Is turmeric also good for rheumatoid arthritis?
Turmeric is actually excellent for arthritis because, like I said, it does have anti-inflammatory properties.
Okay.
And once turmeric is in your system, it's not only good for arthritis, it's good for your circulation, it's good for your skin, it's good for your bones, it's good for your brain, it's good for your DNA. So I mean, you can't really go wrong with your turmeric.
No
And
doubt.
as for how to use it, it's also a main ingredient in curry. So,
Right.
You see a lot of people out there with that curry powder, or, you see a curry option, go for the curry option. It's going to have some turmeric in it, add some Himalayan salt and some black pepper, and you got yourself some good eating.
No doubt, man. No doubt. So, all right, last word on an AAT report. Where can the people find it? Can you recommend it anywhere? Where can we go to actually get our hands on this blessed turmeric?
Turmeric is actually widely available. You can find it at your neighborhood grocers. You can find it at your supermarket. And you can find it online, perhaps on like Amazon. It's super available. You can get it just about anywhere. But the key is to get it, to use it, and to, speak about its benefits.
No doubt, no doubt. So spread the word, man. Turmeric, ginger, turmeric with any turmeric pepper, turmeric ginger, turmeric anything. Powerful, powerful combination. Use it in your cooked food. Use it in your baked food. You heard it here first, right here on the Real HD Show. And in this era of this monster running around called COVID-19, we need all of the health information that we can get so we can be healthy, wealthier, and wiser. And that right there was the AAT report on the Real HD Show. And pardon me, man, I always do that. Are you all done, brother?
We are good.
I'm talking about. That's my man. All right, so that was a heater. AAT report was really, really dope. And right now, we are going to get into a good one, a good healing melody from Robert Glasper featuring D Smoke and Tiffany Goucher. It's called Shine. Check it out.
I can feel the love in here. My inner space got constellations. And all those inner conversations, they help me to shine. 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 They help me to shine. Shine. So shine. Shine. They help me to shine. Picture the world after the wilderness no longer exists. Picture me with no filter. Picture we see the rainbow as evidence that the storm was only meant to wash away the hurt, certainly not destroy. Picture divine vines growing on side abandoned buildings. Picture choosing a road less traveled, abandoned millions. Picture standing on top of hills, projecting your brilliance. Picture we started old and slowly became more like children. Picture me as a tadpole, started off as a frog. Picture me as a channel that started off as a blog. Picture me as a whisper that started off as a yell. Picture only offering heaven, although they give you hell. Like, picture that, scripture that. Picture that brilliant sister from Sister Act against the miseducation. Found those who missed the map and gave them hope. Just one more key to that extra lap. That's right. I can feel the love in you. It's like a canyon. My inner space got constellations. And all those inner conversations, they help me to shine. Yeah, shine. Ooh, shine. Shine. They help me to shine. That's what we're here to do. We are. Shine. Oh, shine.
Yeah, man, that was Shine. That's where hip hop meets jazz the right way. You know what I mean? You got a Gen Z and D Smoke doing it the right way. Love the lyrics, love the bars, love the Robert Glasper track, love Tiffany Goucher. They blessed that joint. Mwah, had to play it. Shine. Check that out, man. Go support that on all platforms, man. Robert Glasper, D Smoke, Tiffany Goucher, Shine. Right here on the Real HD Show. And Facebook, don't front on us, man. We got permission, man. Soundtrack your brand. We got permission to play these records, man. Stop playing. Do your research. Don't cut the show off. Don't edit. Don't cut our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Don't do it. Don't do it. We got permissions. So if anybody's wondering why I'm playing that little interlude in and out of the records, it's because we want to make sure that the Facebook algorithm recognizes that we do have permission to play this music, although it be copyrighted. We back, man. Real HD show, man. That was a dope one, and a dope Real HD AAT report with none other than Sin. The man is back. The man, the myth, the legend. The man is back, better than ever. No doubt. That's my guy. Please, please, please support what we're doing. Power to the People News Talk. You know what I mean? We're back with a Wild Out Wednesday edition of the Real HD Show. We're giving you a little Monday. We're giving you a little Wednesday. You know what I mean? We did the AAT report nice and early for you so we could break into some other really, really powerful ways and powerful things that we have to talk about. Sin, what you got?
All right. Well, tonight is a interesting one. All right. I have stories of numerous atrocities that have been committed by our government on its people. You know, at first I was going to delve in super deep and get to all of these experiments that were done exclusively on us as a people. As you know, they love to work on minorities and us in particular. But I went a different route in order for it to actually hit home and for people to understand, because, you know, there are those others that are out there that don't really care when it happens to melanated people. So my stories actually reflect on how this government doesn't care if you're melanated, doesn't care if you're not melanated, doesn't care if you're a woman, child, elderly. It has no limitations. So with that, I bring you numerous experiments that were performed on human test subjects by the United States that were illegally and unethically exercised without knowledge, consent, or informed consent. These experiments include, but were not limited to, exposure of humans to many chemical, biological weapons, including infections with deadly and debilitating diseases, radiation exposure, injections of toxic and radioactive chemicals, surgical experiments, administering mind-altering substances, mind control, and the list goes on and on. Right. Many of these experiments were performed on children, mentally disabled, the poor, racial minorities, and prisoners, and often under the guise of medical treatment and group studies. Here, go ahead.
Real quick. So if you think he's lying, there's a story that was just out about a week and a half ago about how they were, and these women, these prisoners, had to go testify in front of Congress that this doctor was doing dangerous, is it called hysterectomies?
Hysterectomies, yep.
Yeah, they were doing dangerous hysterectomies, illegal hysterectomies,
unnecessary hysterectomies,
unnecessary hysterectomies, and hysterectomies without consent. And that just happened this year. So we're not exaggerating when we tell you this thing. Go ahead, bro.
No doubt. Well, the thing is, I'm gonna give you a little span over time of these experiments. I'm gonna start with the past and then bring us up to present day. All right. In 1949, there was the Operation Green Run, where the United States Atomic Energy Commission, or the AEC, released iodine 131 and xenon 133 which are both radioactive materials, into the atmosphere near Hanford site in Washington. This contaminated over 500,000 acres, and within that acreage were 3 small towns. In 1953, the AEC, Atomic Energy Commission, ran several experiments at the University of Iowa on the health effects of radioactive iodine in newborns and pregnant women. In 1966, the U.S. Army released Bacillus globuli into the tunnels of New York City subways as a part of a field experiment called the study of vulnerability of subway passengers in New York City to covert attack with biological agents. Right? The Chicago subway system also subjected its citizens to the same experiment by the government. Right? In 1971, in San Antonio, they conducted oral contraceptive studies. Right? In these studies on women, right, they were never informed of this test. And during the test, right, the study showed that 10 women who were giving placebos became pregnant, and there was unfortunately no additional study done or additional information available about that particular study.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yes. Right.
Wow.
All right. And during the decade of 2000 to 2010, this was a bad one, and this is also recent, right? Artificial blood was transfused into numerous subjects across the United States without their consent or knowledge by the Northfield labs. Later, studies showed that the artificial blood caused significant increases in the risk of heart attacks and death. Right? This was just during the decade of 2000 to 2010. Right? But it gets worse. You remember the 1966 U.S. Army experiment that they performed in the subways of New York City?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. You had to read on that.
They're about to do it again.
Wow.
All right.
Tell the people, bro. Tell the people what they need to know.
All right. The MTA will conduct subway airflow tests for the potential impact of chemical or biological attacks. Right. And this will take place, excuse me, from October 18th to October 29th of this month, of this year. So, for those who are aware of history and don't wish to repeat, the knowledge is out there. For those who blindly follow what they believe are people who have their best interest in mind, do some research. For those who say that there is no possible way that in these modern times that the government would go against its people, I suggest you do your research. Stop blindly listening, stop being sheep, and wake up. Because if you don't wake up, you might not be able to.
Mm. Speaking of waking up, man, we live in a we sincere myself from the Bronx, from the North Bronx, Northeast Bronx, and we're right by a famous project that's known for being quite a hood. You know what I mean? The famous, infamous Eden Wall project. Shout out to everybody from the Wall. Shout out to 142. Shout out to 68. Shout out to 110. All the folks who are at home and abroad from the Eden Wall region of the Bronx, New York. But there's a interesting experiment, and it's called the Universal 25. You familiar with it, bro?
Yes, sir.
So back in 57, this scientist created an experiment. And this is right around the time when, of course, New York and other areas were experimenting with the creation and the perpetuation of
The Jets.
projects, project living. That means you build as many buildings as possible, you jam pack them with people, and then you hope they have a thriving existence, even though you're not giving them the resources, you're not giving them, the savage inequalities at an all-time high because of the placement of what they're doing and where they're at and how they're raising children. You know what, man? Shout out to my man Craig Mobley, man.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the NBA family
Mobley.
of the Mobleys. Why?
Yes,
Because
sir.
they were the 7-footers of the projects. They weren't the only ones, but they were the infamous ones. 3 brothers that all grew to close to 7 feet, and they had to be in what would amount to cubicles of rooms. I remember going to hang out with my man Craig. Shout out to Craig.
No
I think
doubt.
he's living in Maryland or Virginia. Shout out Big Mo. You know what I mean? Rest in peace,
Mobley.
Eric Mobley. Rest in peace to Eric Mobley.
Oh yeah.
He just passed. He's with the ancestors now. The big bro used to look out for us, man. Yo, shout out. But in that particular family, they all grew to be NBA size and height. But they had, and I remember going over their house to hang out and do homework and whatever we did over there with my man Craig. And their feet would literally be through the bed, out the other side, hitting the walls, from wall to wall. And the brothers grew to be 7 feet tall, damn near close to it. And, you obviously knew that was not a place suitable for that family. Not at all. Knock it off. So this Universal 25 study is proof that way back in the day, they knew the hazard and the degradation and the damn near the way that it would cripple life in a really, really hazardous way. And I'm going to show you.
It was described as apocalyptic.
Exactly. Check this out. I'm going to open it up. Boom. Universal 25 experiment, one of the most terrifying experiments in human history. This thing moved fast, pardon me, pardon itself. And we are back to it. The Universal 25 experiment is a scientific experiment performed by American top scientist John Calhoun. In the experiment, the scientists used artificially created mice colony to perform experiment to further help understand the dynamics of human beings and social conditions. And this happened in the early 50s and didn't even conclude until the 70s. Am I right?
You're right.
Way after projects were going on. You know what I mean? So they were gathering, quantifying data, not only empirical data, but quantifying data on what this experiment called the projects is. And these things still continue. Let me give you a couple of highlights really quick. If I can get to it. How the 1960s mouse utopias led to grim predictions for the future of humanity. So that means when this particular woman who did this expose on this, Marissa Facedin, she found out just what these scientists found out, that no human being could live under these conditions or should. So those things should actually be, all project buildings that are put together like that should be actually torn down, and people should be given housing and redistributed housing that would benefit their lifestyles and their families. And that's from the Smithsonian Magazine. We try to be really, really good about our references. It said the experiment was terrifying because the same exact thing what is exactly playing out in human societies today. Almost every country has an abundance of natural and human resources, but for some reason, instead of the resource being equitable and judiciously applied to serve the people, some privileged groups still decided to play catch with them. Let me remove this caption really quick so I can read the rest. And then it says the result in a society is a constant flux and destruction at any time. The master stockpiles a weapon of mass destruction. Well, let me read the sentence before. Let me not jump the gun. It says almost every country has an abundance of natural human resources, but for some reason, instead of those resources being equitable and judiciously applied, the privileged group decided to play with them. Now, this is what this woman, Marissa Fesden, found about this Universal 25 experiment that we know to be the projects, right? So, give me 1 second, let it flip. Now, this is a picture of the mice that they used in the Universal 25 experiment. This is more of a color. That's one of the scientists that worked on it. And these are some of the, color shots of the mice held captive in this project. Don't that look like the projects though?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a forced mouse colony, forced to replicate how people live in the projects and in urban setups like Cabrini Green. Shout out to Candyman. And if nobody's ever seen Candyman, the new one, you owe it to yourself to go watch Jordan Peele's adaptation.
Better go see it.
Gotta see it. It's a must do. But let's continue. So we got that popping. That's the picture of the mouse colony experiment. Once the wretched group was formed, the other assumed privileged mice decided to attack them. Have we ever seen that before? Killing them and creating a weakened morale and psychological breakdown of the males from this wretched group of mice. The breakdown mostly was a result of the inability to protect their group. So that means when the dominant, so that means when the popos show up with weapons of mass destruction, paramilitary gear, and brothers in the hood don't have paramilitary gear to fight the police, then those males are meant to feel weakened, just like the mice in this experiment here. And trust me, man, me and Singh grew up around this, so this is no pleasure to talk about, but we have to get it out there. Out there for the people. The female rodents in this group started losing it and transferred their aggression to their children. Anybody can say PTSD? Anybody can say Dr. Francis Cress Wilson? Right? Who coined the phrase?
Yep.
There we go. So one more. I just want to show you what it looked like in a sketch. I think that's coming up. Give this video a minute. There we go. So this is what the rodent experiment, the Universal 25, actually did. And of course, a dominant, factor. But you can see how close the walls are. You can see how cramped and crazy they are. And you can see the mice, climbing to the top of the other areas to go and invade some of the other compartments that don't belong to them. They were all put in one compartment, but once they became the dominant group, those mice went out and sought to eat the food in the dwellings of the other mice, which is very, very reminiscent to the dysfunctions that happen within many, many projects around the United States that melanated Black people live in and suffer from. Another thing. Calhoun's research was seeing not only as it says his work in giving moral decay would arise not from density, but from excessive social interaction. Not all Calhoun, those who managed to control the space led relatively normal lives. This is from the Smithsonian, and the exception is not the rule, because even though myself and Sin went to college, but we came from the hood, and we experienced different advantages of, making it out the hood. Shout out to Dr. Brindle and Susan Elementary that put us on the path to appreciate an education. And
Sonia Johnson.
Yeah, Sonia Johnson, our English teacher. Shout out to you. I hope you're alive and well. Y'all put us on the path, Mr. Mazzarella with the math, and so many wonderful teachers out of
Abbott with the science.
Yeah, Mr. Silver, all the really, really dope people that gave a F.
Lester Spells.
Lester Spells.
Hey, my man.
Hands on the home keys. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, we wanted to show. We thought it was, and the reason why we even bring this up is because 2021 is some sort of anniversary of the Universal 25. As shitty as it was, we don't care what anniversary it was. What matters is that we know that they knew the damaging effects of what Project Living was going to do to people in urban environments, and they didn't give a rat's ass about the people subject to it, which was awful. And then, of course, here's some other things that people from low-income housing was subject to. The U.S. government used densely populated swath and lower-income housing projects in St. Louis in the 1950s and conducted radioactive experiments on the people. I always wondered why that government block of cheese lasted forever, bro.
It's irradiated.
That was a mystery to me, man. That damn block of cheese did not go bad. That thing stayed there forever. Twinkie stayed there forever. All of the things that you got for free 99 just stuck around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Sin, what you got on this, man? Universal 25. They knew it. They was fronting on it. They was acting like it wasn't detrimental. They was acting like people didn't deserve better. And you know what else they was acting like, bro? They was acting like they didn't have thousands of ghost homes that they could have transferred people in these sick and riddled conditions to live in, to give them better places to live, man. You say what, bro? Talk to us.
Well, you used the right word, acting. I mean, they were acting as if they knew what would happen under those conditions. So what did they do? They put us under those conditions, but then they gave us blame. They said, oh, well, it's your fault. Oh, it's because of you people. Oh, it's because, you people are so violent. You people are so this. You people are so that. So in other words, this is evidence of them not only stacking the game, but this is evidence of how they stacked it and got away with it and still continue to get away with it till this day, in which they can be the antagonist and then claim victim. You feel? So now, before they put up those projects and those housing developments, right, they knew what would happen. They knew, what kind of situations would occur. But what did they do? They built precincts and jails, and they had that whole right there. So they didn't even have to use fuel, you feel, to transport and get all of that done, because it's all happening on premise, which essentially turned it into a residential factory.
How about it? Let me build with you, man. Let me add on. So they put the projects in the jails next to, they put the precincts in the jails next to the projects, which totally funded decades of paramilitary law enforcement to micromanage the super dysfunction that was built, organized, and orchestrated by the US government. Meanwhile, the 50s was the great suburban flight. There was white people living in projects once upon a time. But after the 50s, thanks to people like Levitt and Sons, Levittown, right? Long Island, Levittown, Pennsylvania, Levittown, Connecticut, suddenly Seymour, Little Shop of Horrors, right?
Yep.
Moving into those box homes, which became great big stately homes, and maybe a decade or two later with some development and some construction.
Funding.
Right?
Yep.
And they gave the World War II vets who were living in the projects with their families residents in these newly acquired suburban areas. So this ain't by mistake, man. Do the math, look it up. You know what I mean? We not just talking, we not just kicking smoke. This is what we do on the Real HD Show. We try to bring that stuff to you that you need, that, everybody's running around talking about corona, and these fools are celebrating an anniversary of locking our people up essentially in projects and ruining decades of lives. You got the last word, bro.
Well, yeah, definitely. And for one, it's I say to the people who do have doubts, those people who do question, what they're being told. To you, I give a salute. I say this is the time, if any, to question, because we've already provided numerous times in which those same people that you feel are out to protect you had no intention of protecting you, and in fact placed you in harm's way. So during these times, please do question. Please, acknowledge your surroundings. Engage in community.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, if the very least, you have to get mad, you have to revolt, you have to stand up and say, guess what, I am a person, I have value, and I will not take this anymore. Network, watch it.
Yeah, man. We played that clip before, so that was powerful. Real HD Show. Check us out, 100.9 FM, WXIR. Check out the replays. This will be up in their TuneIn app, which is national, going out soon. That was a heavy, heavy article. I guarantee you, not The View, not Good Morning America. Nobody's talking about the Universal 25. This quote unquote shitty anniversary that they have for putting our people in this misery. But we just thought you needed to know, man, and white people need to know too, man, because white people be drinking the Kool-Aid, man. White people, especially younger generations, they be thinking, it's all good. You know what I mean? If their parents ain't talking about it and they didn't get bedtime stories on it, it don't exist. You know what I mean? And we're here to tell you that America has a long and torrid history with some bullshit in it and doing bullshit to a lot
And
of
an
people.
active history.
Absolutely.
Still goes on till this day.
Say less. Exactly. You know what I mean? And if you want to chime in on a Universal 25 story, or you might even have a personal story about living in the projects, dealing with government, dealing with policy, dealing with things that were just unfair, inequitable, and became an inequality for you. I know I just said the same thing twice. So what?
Twice as effective, yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you want to jump in the chat, leave your message, jump in the link. I'll put it up right here. I had to switch it a second ago. Give me 1 sec. I'll put it up. Boom. Jump in here, man. Let us know what you want to do, man. This is the debut show, season 3 of the Real HD Show. You know what I mean? I'm the Vic. That's sincere. Ooh, that's sincere. You know what I'm saying? We'll get it. Left hand, right hand. You know what I'm saying? So You know what I mean? We want to hear from you. We want to know what you think about. Do you have an atrocity about living in a universal 25? You know what I'm saying? Where these things are uh, displacing people and making miserable lives and miserable futures. Do you have a horror story? I remember the Good Times episode. They were living in the projects. I don't know if that was Cabrini Green. Was that supposed to be Cabrini Green?
I'm not sure. I think it was. I think it was.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I remember the episode of the elevator. You remember the elevator episode?
Yes.
Where the little kid opened the door and fell down the chute? Oh my God. And Penny was about to do the same thing.
Oh my God.
Remember that? I was like, yo, certain things about certain real, stark instances of Good Times, it's just burned in your brain. You can't forget it. Because you live partly you lived it, and then partly you resonated with it. And if you haven't seen Good Times, is it on Hulu? I think it's on Hulu. And if it's not on Hulu, it's on Paramount. Stream it, man. Even if you got a bootleg it, man, go online, watch Good Times for free online, and you'll get a bunch of sites with even YouTube. I'm sure YouTube got a bunch of Good Times episodes on it, at least a season or two. Watch Good Times, man. Good Times is talking to all my millennials and my Gen Zs that have never seen Good Times and can't really relate to what we're talking about. You will see some interesting cultural stuff going on with the cast and crew and the
many guest stars.
Many guest stars.
Many guest stars.
You'll see some young people who are old dogs and old cats on the show, and you'll be like, "Oh, I didn't even know Homeboy was on the show." But yeah,
Gary Coleman.
A lot of people,
like you said,
make debut on
Penny, Janet Jackson.
Was landscaping, groundbreaking Black television, and it showed the plight of Black people in a real motherfucking way. So go check it out. You owe it to yourself right here. You heard it here on the Real HD Show, Universal 25. And I know we could have went on for days because you and I both took a lot of notes on this, and we were prepared, but we want to
got pages. Yep.
Yeah, man. It's 9:28. You are listening and watching, hopefully watching the Real HD Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We would super duper appreciate it. You know what I mean? Catch us on Facebook, catch us on Twitter, catch us on Twitch, catch us on YouTube. We stream live to all those places. Tell your friends it's them again, season 2. You know what I mean? We here. You say what, Sam? Go ahead, bro.
No doubt. Well, one, we need more feedback from you, our viewers. We need you to come on and come speak to us. These topics that we're talking about. We need your impact. We need your voice, because like he says all the time, it's your voice, your victory. So we want y'all to come in. We want you to participate. These subjects. We've done some serious research on. We took our time. Looked up our resource materials, and these are things that we feel truly affect our communities. And we need your impact. We need you to come in. We need your feedback. We need you to give us that participation so that we can keep the Real HD on the air, keep it going, keep its content 100, and keep you in mind. So
hey, man,
all the time.
The Joker got something to say about this. Check it out.
What would I do without you? No, you complete me.
That's right, listeners, viewers, you complete us. We need you. Hit that link right there. Cash App, Real HD Show. If you appreciate what we do, and you appreciate our get down and what we offer, please, pretty please, with sugar on top. You know what I mean? Donate, we like the kind that jingles, but we rather have the kind that folds and that slides into them little machines and helps you get goods and services. You know what I'm saying? Put it in the Real HD Cash App. You know what I mean? It allows us to upgrade our equipment. It allows us to upgrade our presentations to you. And without further ado, man, before we get too far gone in this thing, man, because we were gonna do Dave Chappelle, the Dave Chappelle controversy. We were gonna do the Kamala Harris and Biden mess, and we were gonna do the Howard Stern mess. So and we were also gonna do U.S. food shortages. You know what I mean? Because you know, Walmart, right, has to hire private boats to go out to these aircraft carriers that are carrying all their food and all their substances over, and bring their food on these little itty bitty private boats to bring it to you. That's why if you go into these local shops right now, you're seeing that certain things are bare. You see the toilet paper's getting scarce. You see that certain things are happening. You don't see as many people working in the stores like they used to. You know what I mean? So if you like any of the topics I just brought up, the first person to jump in the chat and ask for us to do a story, Dave Chappelle, the food shortages, Biden Harris, or Howard Stern and his crazy self. He need a handful of powder and a pimp smack for what he said. You know what I'm saying? Because we got it going for you, man. We got all those things on deck. But right now, while we wait for you to participate, we are going to go to the Lit City Report. And this is something that Sincere just sent to me today. And I thought it was so dope. I thought it was so poignant. I thought it was so on target. There's so many things that are going on in our society that I said, damn it, I had to play it. I have to play it. So here we go. And hold on, give me a sec. Let me load it up. Well, we are locked in. And without further ado, the Lit City Report right here on the Real HD Show.
I can't lie, y'all, I'm lost and flustered by this. Y'all see things like this and justify it. This ain't about sexual preference, dismiss this. What a man do behind closed doors is his business. This is just proof. In fact, the system be trying to remove the black man's masculinity. For y'all to think I'm just talking and feel away, allow me to elaborate further. Exhibit A. We came to this country of pain and tortured us. First thing they noticed is we were some warriors, dominant with stripes. Last thing they wanted was a big black slide in their wife. Knew that we downright with upstaging, so they tried to take our soul, buck breaking. That's when they raped our kings of our nation to kill our spirits, so we don't think about escaping. Fast forward to the 60s era, it was different. Civil rights, blacks rebelling against the system. The regime began a scheme to exile young Malcolm's out, turn future Dr. Kings into queens. They know we love the marijuana, so they put chemicals in our weed to lower our testosterone. Welfare caused the man to be out, so the black boys don't got an example of a man in the house. Make us submissive, break us in, so it be easier to make us slaves again. Still going on today, youngster wake up. That's why the media portrays us as thugs and gangsters. Create this facade of a menace, so it's easier to accept when they soften our image. Start with athletes, the man want to convert ball players to him as a slam dunk. Then it's a rap once they get our rappers and our actors. Look, listen, it hurts truly. We know what type of role Will Smith had to play in his first movie. Love Will, but I can't neglect when it's something. They love when a black man dresses as a woman. Started off in the 60s, was never seen, till Flip Wilson turned into Geraldine. Notice how fast that boosts his career. Fast forward now, all we love's of a deer. Grown man turned cool old lady. Word to Sinead, you so crazy. At this point, inevitable putting it in cartoons like these kids ain't impressionable. They know what they doing. Love to all humans, LGBT included. Now wait till part 2 hit.
Cash flow. Yo. When you say that joint, bro, I said this is the Lit City Report right here.
Bruh.
Right. I ain't even tell you. And I know we supposed to talk to the pre-show, but I said this the damn cat. This the damn Lit City Report right here. His bars were so on point. And if the source was still around, he'd get 5 mics from me.
Damn real.
5 mic bars. That's bars on bars, still sharp and still. Cash Flow Harlem. Dope. Your thoughts?
Fam, yo, well, you know, the minute that I saw it and I heard it, ran across it, bro. One, had to share, and you know how they say, like, share, subscribe. That was the instant. You know what I mean? For one, like, you know what I mean, that it was insane. You know what I mean? He covered all the topics. You know what I mean? He brought up those issues that are still felt till this day. You know what I mean? And all of that denying stuff and all of that stuff that people is doing right now. You feel? Put them on Front Street. Put them out there. You feel? Let them know. Yeah, you can say it's for this. Yeah, you can say it's for that. Proven fact. Bam. Take that.
I like the way you put that. Yo, man, that image of Lil Nas X being pregnant, and then he went into the history of how they feminized our young men. And that's probably one of the number one things that we deal with right now is the powerlessness, you know, of our young black boys and men. You know what I mean? And I thought that was powerful.
Definitely.
And now you take, instead of being power and not on top of being powerless, now people are all confused about sexuality and what that means, how to apply it. And of course, if black men are the largest prison population, and of course, many children's fathers are behind bars for petty crimes and things of that nature that white people's money buy them out of, right? Then, of course, our situations, and including the Universal 25, right? Experiments, right? It's no wonder, you know, you got this right here. Lil Nas X trying to make a viral stir about all of a sudden he could be pregnant. Now we know that that's anatomically impossible, but he'll go there to, you know, to me he's like the Dennis Rodman of this era, right? In my opinion, and no disrespect to Dennis Rodman, but Dennis Rodman went out his way to show that he was gender fluid. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways and things that he did. He was every bit a man on the basketball court, but you know, in the public, in the way he expressed himself, he was very gender fluid, and some even say gender confused. You know what I mean? And Lil Nas X, is in the tradition of the Dennis Rodmans and others, and especially the ones that, you know, Harlem showed in the video. So shout out to who put that out? Savoy? Do you remember?
Yeah. I think it was the Savoy.
Was it Savoy? Yeah, shout out to the Savoy on Instagram, man. Y'all be dropping it, man. And so many others, man. Keep that good content flowing, man. And as new black media, let's support each other. Y'all play our stuff. You know, we play your stuff. You know what I mean? You know, equality, equality, freedom, man. You know what I mean? We gotta do it. We gotta
each one teach one.
Yeah, man, we gotta play each other's stuff. We can't go crazy about it. We gotta just support. Keep that dollar circulating throughout our community and keep on reaching out to each other. But I can't stress enough how if you're a young man, impact another young man's life. You don't have to be their stepdaddy. You don't have to marry their mama if they're a single mother. But what you gotta do is, just take a youngin' under your wing and be like, yo, you okay, young man? I'll never forget that that scene in the movie Belly. Well, Lil Nas X, Nas rather, goes back to the Queen Bridge. No offense, Nas, you the man. But you know what I'm saying? The God MC went back to his hometown after being involved in all that chaos. Him and Buns was running around, you know, in 3 states, creating chaos in 3 states, wilding out in Queens, wilding out in Omaha, Nebraska, and then I think it was DC or some spot like that. They were just wilding everywhere. They was getting money, but they was wild. So then, you know, Sincere didn't want it. His name was Sincere. Shout out to Sincere. No, you know, his name was Sincere in the movie. Sincere went back to a youngin' who reminded himself of himself when he was younger and gave him a little jewel physically and mentally. And I always thought that was one of the dopest things that Hype Williams did when he put the movie Belly out. We show that generational transfer of good things, not bad things.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody even recognized. Now you can put it in the chat if you recognize, but don't front. When Nas handed the young man his chain, did you recognize that that was Nas giving the young man a jewel for life? Did people get that, or did we miss it? Belly just had a what was it, a 25-year anniversary or a 20-year anniversary last year?
I think it was a 25, yeah.
Something like that, because it came out right around a little before the year 2000 or something to that effect. Don't quote me, but
it was in the 90s.
Yeah, they just had a big anniversary of the movie. Go see the movie, man. It's really, really dope. It's really has some great themes. Think about the Universal 25 that we just broke down a little earlier. Think about what, Harlem Cash Flow just broke down. And that right there, for everyone listening, was our Lit City report right here on the Real HD Show. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up for me. I did a great job. I need applause. That was a great. And for Sincere, clap it up for Sincere for dropping that and sharing that really, really great Harlem Cash Flow, Cash Flow Harlem song. And we will play part 2 when it comes out, because I know that brother, and he got some stuff on coronavirus. Check out Cash Flow Harlem, man. Yo, support Cash Flow Harlem. That brother is dope. You know what I mean? Outside of the Cardi B mess, he got some really good stuff on YouTube. Inspiring MC. He should have been bigger right now. You know what I mean? With all of the garbage that's in and out of, I'll trade. You know what I mean? We can get rid of Macklemore and we could put Cash Flow Harlem in Macklemore's place. Give him Macklemore's tracks and his, record company distribution, and watch that young man blow up. He's a good-looking cat, good-looking young man. He's doing his thing. He got bars for days. Support Cash Flow Harlem. You heard it right here on the Real HD Show. Hey, bro, man, it's 8:45, man.
Ooh, time flies.
How fast does this fly, bro? It's crazy. And I got to pick my son up from work. Just like we said earlier, I'm not trying to have my son get caught up in no nonsense outside.
No doubt.
Given everything that we brought up today. So what do we bring up today, man? What was it? Can you do a kind of a recap, and I'll join you, of some of the pertinent stories that we brought up today? You take it away, man. We can close the show with that.
All right, definitely. Well, we started off with the oh man, it was a good one too. Our first subject of the day.
Kendrick Johnson, Jelani Day.
Yes, missing body parts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we did cover so much. We did the missing body parts. We did the girl that was found in the cop car. We did the 25 experiments, Universal 25.
Mm-hmm.
That was a serious one. Those tests and stuff like that, are still going on till this day. Something that was premeditated by them, and then, they acted as if they didn't know, and then ensued blame onto the actual victims of their experiment, which is us. We covered the other experiments by the United States on its unknowing citizens. That subject I actually covered. And, we took it from 1940s up until the present day, and actually to the future day, because we have one of their experiments that they are going to be reenacting or redoing on the 18th to the 29th of this month. So those who are traveling the New York subways, be aware, that these things are happening. So,
protect each other, man. Walk with
definitely.
each other. Look out for each other, man.
And that's what I wanted to end out on, with all of these situations, and all of the knowledge that has been obtain today. The greatest jewel is that we need to stick together. We need to form our communities better. We need to come together, watch out for each other, and rise up and strive and thrive and be better together. You
Yes,
know, bring that fist, those fingers together, and you have yourself a strong tool. Keep them apart, and you have not so strong a tool. So, as a people, we need to come together and be that strong tool. We need to be that fist. We need to be that community enforcer. So, as a people, come together.
Absolutely, man. And with that, we're gonna end off the season 3 debut of the Real HD show. And Sin didn't know this, but I hope Sin is able to join us because we're gonna do a pop-up for all the smoke, man. Because we got a lot of stories we gotta get off before the week is over. So join us for a pop-up for all the smoke, either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday of this week. And we plan to have some guests, some really, really relevant, exciting knowledge, wisdom, and understanding filled stories and articles for you. Join us on the Real HD show, man. And like always, peace and war
Peace.
with power.
No doubt.
We love y'all, man. Tune in, season 3. Let's go, Real HD show.
No doubt.